Okay, so I haven't... Okay. This is a nightmare I may not be ready to live through.
I started getting crushes on boys.
Real embarrassed about this.
My mouth gets the best of me pretty much all the time.
Okay, I'm just like, how do... Okay. All right.
There we go.
Hey guys, welcome to We Still Like You.
The podcast.
We're doing it. It's Chicago's favorite apartment-based embarrassing storytelling show.
Arguably the best and arguably the only storytelling comedy show that's also a party.
Yeah, that's very true.
I think we've got the market cornered, and now we're a podcast too.
Yeah, the key is to be extremely specific, and no one will ever challenge you.
That's right. That's how it goes.
I'm Dan Sheehan.
My name is Tyler Snodgrass, and we're two of the co-hosts and co-creators of We Still Like You.
And we've got some fun stuff for you today. Today's theme is We Still Like Plagiarism.
Yep, so we've got a series of stories that involve either directly stealing ideas or stealing phrasing, things like that.
Just theft.
Theft in general.
A little bit of playful theft.
Yeah. Well, let's dive in and give you a good sample of what We Still Like You is like. We're going to be hearing a story from our friend John Margelewski, who willingly bears a very shameful moment he has. And luckily at our live show, no matter what shameful, embarrassing, horrific experience someone shares, the entire audience raises a glass at the end and cheers as We Still Like You. And they're going to do that for him.
So in that way, it makes our storytellers a little bulletproof.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can share a little bit.
We condition them for unconditional love.
And we booze them up a little bit, too.
That helps.
So if you're drinking at home, oh boy, is this your moment.
If you are a home podcast drinker, then boy, this is the podcast for you.
That is such a unique type of alcoholism.
Yeah.
I just like to get home and get loaded and listen to WTF.
But my problem with WTF is there's not enough moments that invite me to drink.
Yeah. They're never getting me involved.
Well, this is for you. This is a totally interactive experience. So anyway, let's get you drinking. Here's John Margelewski.
Guys, my shame starts early in life. Let's go back to first grade. Let's start right there, all right? I had a homework assignment in first grade. It was a very simple homework assignment. I had to go to the school library. I had to pick out a book. Could be any book. And then I had to write a one-paragraph review of that book, a book report. I actually got a copy of that paragraph, and I'll read it to you. The book was like Alexander and the Very Bad, No Good, Terrible Day or something. Yeah. It's mostly a picture book, I think. Here's my report. Alexander knew it was going to be a terrible day when he woke up with gum in his hair, and it got worse. His best friends deserted him. There was no dessert in his lunch bag, and on top of all that, there were lima beans for dinner and kissing on the TV. This book charmed me. Now, it seems like a pretty good summary of the book. Problem is, here's the back summary of that book, the actual back of the book. This is what the back of the book says. It says, Alexander knew it was going to be a terrible day when he woke up with gum in his hair. And it got worse. His best friends deserted him. There was no dessert in his lunch bag. And on top of that, there were lima beans for dinner and kissing on the TV. This handsome edition of Judith Viorst's classic picture book is sure to charm readers of all ages. I plagiarized a book report in first grade by copying the back cover. And my teacher, Miss Karowski, actually knew my mom because my older sister was friends with her daughter. So she called my mom after realizing that I copied the back of the book. And my mom, bless her heart, stuck up for me and tried to defend me through this. And then she came into my room and she goes, John, did you copy your book report from the back page or from the back of the book? It's like, no, I didn't even know that there were words back there. What does the back of it say? And then I pointed out how it wasn't exactly identical because I changed that last sentence.
All right, guys, that was fun, wasn't it? I'm gonna need a better way to come in from that. Usually the audience is applauding and stuff.
Dan, have you ever plagiarized anything?
Oh yeah, I have.
Oh yeah?
I definitely have. I was on my middle school newspaper, It was called the Eagle Tribune, I'm fairly sure. This was in the Chicago suburbs. And I used to write articles about really dumb stuff, like about how they should have vanilla Coke in the cafeteria and how lunch prices were too high. And
You're so edgy.
Right? I wrote one about how Dragon Ball Z was awesome. And then one day I was hard-pressed for a topic, so I just went on Comcast News and pulled up an article called Bali Bombed. It was about a bombing in Bali. And I just copy-pasted it directly and just handed it to my journalism teacher, like, hey, yeah, I know I've been covering some fluffy shit with this lunch price stuff, but I've got some hard-hitting news I got about a bombing in Bali here in Clarendon Hills, Illinois. And I just handed it off, and he just looked at me and printed it.
What?
He just didn't care at all.
Our next storyteller is Saurin Choksi, a fantastic comedian living and working in New York. Saurin was nice enough to tell us about a shameful encounter he had with a pickup artist, and he learned a few things about picking up women.
He was taught the ropes about the path to smooching.
He's got a one-way ticket to Smooch Town, thanks to lines that other men have written.
Yeah. So we're gonna let the story just happen because this is a great one. Enjoy.
Started. I was talking to a girl, and you know, I'm not like super good at that or anything like that, but I was pretty drunk and we were talking, and then all of a sudden these two dudes came and started talking to me, and I was just talking to them, I'm a social dude, and then I noticed oh, I'm not talking to this girl anymore, and there was some other dude talking to this girl, and I was like, oh, you dudes started talking to me so then your friend could go talk to that girl. That was pretty smooth of you guys. And they were like, yeah, that is what we did. And I was like, okay. And they're like, you're not like, they're like, oh, that's, you know, you noticed that pretty, you were observant. And I was like, oh, whatever, man, it's fine. And we started talking. They're like, you know who that guy is? And I was like, well, he looks like a guy who's too old to be here, to be honest. He was like, looked like he was like 34. This is a bar called Necto. And they were like, that is one of the top pickup artists in the world. His name is the Juggler. Also, his name's Wayne, but we call him Juggler. And this is like kind of before like the VH1 show and all that stuff. I'm like, well, whatever. Okay. And he looked like a regular dude. He didn't have on like a top hat or a monocle or anything like that. So I was like, what kind of shitty fucking pickup artist is this guy? And we did exchange information, but I didn't think too much about it, and I went on living my life, and my girlfriend moved away, and we broke up, and I wasn't feeling very good in my life, and I was feeling kind of down, and I was struggling with girls. I got stood up by a girl. This dude, the Juggler, one time he came to like an improv show that I was at. No, and like, right, he was a cool, nice guy, and he had like a dude with him who I just started talking to him, and I was like, who's this dude with you? And he was like, this is one of my students. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. But anyway, so okay, let's go on. And you can see where this is leading to. So, this dude, he would, I would see him in Ann Arbor every now and then. He'd just be asking me how my life's going. And then, like, one time I was like, you know, I don't know, shit's not going so good. Feeling kind of down. And he was like, you should take one of our workshops. And I was like, no. And then, you know, I decided I was going to do it. I decided I wanted to take one of these workshops. I just thought, you know, it's going to lead to abundant amount of women and happiness, you know. And I took one, okay? Oh, first of all, so what they called these weekends, they called it going to charm school, which is really cool. They were pretty nice dudes. Juggler wasn't there, which I was very disappointed about. He just sent some of his minions to teach us stuff. And they would just teach us like, I don't remember too much of the stuff. It was mostly just to ask open-ended questions, to listen, and then to kind of talk about yourself. So I was like, okay, well, I mean, this doesn't seem so great. But also, if you went to talk to someone when you introduce yourself, you should touch them. So So yeah, there's a tip for everybody. All right, Danny. Let's say I met you, right? They would say, I wouldn't be like, hey, who are you? You know, like, you want to come in. You want to come in. I remember this. You want to come in where they can see you. Okay? Okay. Don't fucking come in from a weird angle. And yeah. Yeah, and I forget what they would say. If you're good, if you're a funny, cool guy, and you can think of something in the moment, maybe that's not a bad way to introduce yourself. But I always just went with this. I don't go out that much anymore, but I would always just go with this. This is my own invention. This is not the juggler, so it's not charm school approved. This is my big one. Oh, I'm getting nervous. So here's a hand. Here's a hand on the shoulder, a higher part of the shoulder. Maybe. Not like little physical contact, but in a safe place. And oh, hi, I haven't met you yet. My name's Choksi.
Oh, nice to meet you, Choksi.
Little eye contact, and then hey man, just let the fucking fate take you where it does. How did that feel?
Fine. It's probably to me.
Yeah, it was all kind of basic fundamental things. They weren't big on
treating a girl like a human. Cool.
Yeah, they were really in that way. Like the juggler was a good dude because he wasn't into because when he started he was like, look, we're not into negs. Then they told us what negs are.
That's good.
Negs would be like, oh, Danny, I guess your pussy's good. I don't know. That's not. Yeah, hold on. No, like a neg is like, wait, haven't I heard Andy or some comedian say something about these?
I got negged once.
I didn't say.
Okay, what's like an example?
A guy was like, oh, and I saw you outside, and I saw you from behind. I thought you were like a 40-year-old lady, but then I saw you from the front, and you were like pretty alright.
Jesus.
And I was like, oh, well, thank you.
I think it was more like, that's like fucking horrible.
Yeah. And then he kept talking to me and buying me drinks, and I was like, why would I keep talking to you? What?
Yeah, I don't know, but they were more about a positive thing. So I mean, you know, they weren't so terrible. So I mean, that's it. This is the story. That's one of the most, to me, it's one of the most embarrassing things that I've done in my life, and I feel always real kind of embarrassed that, you know, I paid men money to teach me how to talk to girls. Like, it just seems fucking horrible. So I don't know. It feels very cathartic to let that out. I hope people still like me.
All right, guys, that was Saurin Choksi.
You can actually catch Saurin now most nights of the week on the Fuse Network on his talk show, White Guy Talk Show.
White guy not included.
Yeah. On that particular talk show. So that's exciting.
This next one features someone who is physically very close to me right now.
Oh, it's me. The next story is mine. I did not agree to this. This is, you know what? It is kind of plagiarism, but I think technically this story is protected under parody law.
If you can call it that.
Few things about what I'm about to share. I'm quite fond of saying that I was raised Baptist, but I'm normal now. Like, that's a thing I like to say. Which explains my outfit for this show, which is an unironic Striper t-shirt. Striper is a band I've seen live, and that's where I got this t-shirt from. And they're famous for being the premier Christian heavy metal band. Which explains Isaiah 53:5, by the stripes we are healed. In case you... No need to look it up! I got it for you. Their big hit is called To Hell with the Devil. Big fan. So I was raised in Bible Belt, Missouri, and but I was also a determined guitarist. So I played in a praise and worship band twice a week and practiced like another time a week. But I exclusively listened to like Megadeth and Metallica and Ozzy. And I was convinced that these two worlds could be meshed, but I just didn't really know that many bands who could do it. So I took it upon myself to be the guy who could play out-of-date music for kids who wanted something that was not that whatsoever. So while I was playing in this praise and worship band, I wrote Christian parody songs. But not to be funny. To be helpful to the Lord. This is, oh my gosh. This is one, I should say right now off the bat, like, I'm not, like, anti-religion and things. Like, I still think faith is really cool. But as a 15-year-old, I had no idea the way other people perceived faith. So I was, like, I was very naive about the whole thing. So I wrote a song that's a parody of a Twisted Sister song. We all know the song I Wanna Rock and how good it is. So I wrote a song cleverly titled I Wanna Pray. If you see in my notebook, it says by Tyler, Chris, who was my friend, and Twisted Sister. I credited them in the liner notes. And we know I Wanna Rock, right? It's like, I wanna rock! Thank you. So let's do this together. Basically the same thing, except it goes, I wanna pray! Pray! Dun 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 dun! I wanna pray! Pray! This was my dream as a 15-year-old. I'm living it. So we'll skip ahead to the first verse so we don't have to do that 2 more times. Here's how it goes. The first verse is like, it's like, dun, 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 dun. Don't you pray, you say. Well, I gotta say is, how many times am I gonna say no? No, 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 no. Well, I got to say to you when you tell me not to pray, I say no, 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 no. It's like that for a while. So that was probably the best one. I also have a list just following that. I made myself a list of parody songs to do. I had a to-do list. I Wanna Pray, mark that off. Unforgiven by Metallica, my note is change it to I'm Forgiven. Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple, you can guess, it's called Walk on the Water instead. And then my favorite one is I have a note to myself that says, learn Jesus is just all right, no parody needed. The kids will get it. From there, I grew up a little bit, and I decided to start writing my own music that wasn't overtly religious, but still expressed, quality themes. So it's like intended to be heavy metal music. I'm trying to be like Megadeth and Anthrax and Opeth and Dream Theater and all these guys. But I'm a 15-year-old with 0 experiences in this world. So it all comes off as the vaguest, most angsty thing you've ever heard, even though my life was incredibly happy and privileged. So let's dig into that a little bit. Here's a good one. This is from June 12th, 2005. I'm either 15 or 16 at the time, because math is hard. This song is called Continue to Dream. The first line in the song is, remember when we were young? I'm barely a teenager. There's a song called Gone Again, which is just a direct plagiarism of So Far Away From Me by Dire Straits, but here's a good one. This one's called Path of Destruction, and it's about how you shouldn't do meth. Take note, I don't think I've ever met someone who's done meth still. But for some reason, I was like, I gotta say something about this. I gotta get the word out. I'm only trying to help. I gave you your fair warning. So this is your last chance. Till we reach the morning. Morning is spelled with a U. That's wordplay. Yeah. This one's called Pretender. This is an anti-poser song, even though I was exactly that. And it has some obnoxious, Kanye West style like rhyme schemes where just the same end rhyme is just happening over and over again, like too many times. Like the beginning of Dark Fantasy of that album, was like Diago, Bravo, that whole thing. So we've got all of himself he will surrender, thinks that there will be splendor, least out of all the contenders, for he's just another pretender. Like, what am I doing? What am I doing? So that's real deep. And then, just real quick, while discovering this for the first time, I found a list of, I was a big note taker. I took notes on like song topics and titles, and there's some real good ones on here. Just so many ideas for songs, such as Goodbye to a Friend, ooh, Innocence, in parentheses, of a Child. What friends? Question mark. Anyway, Emergency Poncho's still on MySpace if you want to ruin your life. That's my story.
Any chance we're getting an Emergency Poncho reunion tour anytime soon?
You know what? I'm not really allowed to talk about it, but I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, that's our show. That's everything we have for you this episode.
That's the kind of stuff we do at We Still Like You, is we have experienced embarrassment and we're just trying real hard to overcome it by making you listen and like us.
So, thank you again for listening to us, and a big thanks to our performers for letting us include their stories in the podcast. John MargelewskiSaurin ChoksiTyler, and old Tyler Snodgrass over here for signing that release.
What a good guy. We Still Like You is produced by Danny Gallegos, Dan Sheehan, Tyler Snodgrass, and J. Michael Osborne, who is also our resident live artist.
The podcast is produced by Jesse Patend, engineered by Jesse Patend and Sam Haas. Our theme song is Specific People by Jake Tobin. Big thanks to all the people who've housed our live shows at various undisclosed locations around Chicago, and to you, the listener, for being there.
If you'd like to know more about where you can watch We Still Like You or submit to be on We Still Like You, please check out our website, which is westilllikeyou.com, and also you can find us on Facebook.
We'll see you next month.
Next time on We Still Like You.
So I walk into this business and I'm all dressed up and all excited about how exciting this new profession's gonna be. And I'm like, hi, I'm Kyle. I'm from the Cromwell Radio Group. Nice to meet you. Is Harold available? And this lady behind the counter just looks at me, and I'm just like, is he here? And she's like, I can't believe you would come in here and ask that. And I was like, what? She's like, Harold's been dead for 10 years.
We've got some select stories from our live show based in Chicago, and this time it is all about people not being alive anymore. Oh boy, we're off to a sensitive start, aren't we?
It's all about those decomposing fuckers we used to know. Let's maybe take that one from the top.